Well, you know what, folks? I've got some good news. We know his name now. The alleged assailant is 30-year-old Robert Warner. Just a few days ago, police charged Mr. Warner. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, you might remember the visit we took to Kingston, Ontario back on Saturday, June the 20th. The reason Mocha, my cameraman, and I went to Kingston was that there was a gathering of Antifa types at City Park in Kingston, and we were tipped off that they had mischief on their mind. There were threats that they were going to pull down the statue of Sir John A. Macdonald, and at the very least they were going to vandalize it, which they did with eggs and rocks and whatnot. In any event, we went there to cover this gathering at City Park. And just to set the scene for you, we did not interact with the crowd of about 200 demonstrators. They were listening to the ringleaders give speeches on anti-colonialism and white supremacy and white privilege and so on and so forth. By the way, most of the crowd, the vast majority, were white themselves. So my cameraman Moke and I went to about 60 meters in front of the statue. All the demonstrators were behind the statue, and I started to record my stand-up, my introduction to the news report. But it was the protesters who came to us, not the other way around, and check out what happened. I have noticed that throughout the crowd they are distributing eggs, and oh, excuse me, ma'am. Oh, why is that? What makes me a racist, man?
Okay, we
Have
know.
you heard your own words? Because I just listened to you.
Please. Don't touch me.
touch the
Do
camera.
not touch me.
You do not touch the
Sorry,
camera.
ma'am, you said we were racist? Why is that? And use a lot of bad language, not very ladylike language, I must say.
I'm not a f***ing lady. Get out of here.
Oh, okay then. What about yourself, ma'am? You were saying something as well, I believe.
I said that I thought your speech was offensive and inaccurate.
Oh, it was. What did I get wrong? Kingston's motto is not where history and innovations. Right?
Do you believe that removing a statue removes history?
What would you call it?
I would say that we're no longer celebrating a racist creep. The history doesn't...
Time to go.
What are you pouring water? Hey, excuse me.
Time to go. Time to go. Time to go. Time to go. Shoo.
As you can see,
Get your boy
these
out of here.
people.
Don't push us.
It's a
Get him out of here.
park.
Get
It's
our
a
way
public
out.
park.
Get
Do
out of
not
here.
push us.
Time to go.
Do not push us. We're
Get your
making
boy.
our way out.
Okay, good.
No one wants you here.
Good.
Get
Get
out.
your boy out. Get your boy out.
Get out
You're
of
gonna
here.
get egged. Get out.
Well, you're going to threaten me by throwing an egg at me, sir?
Don't.
Get out of here.
It's a public park. Come on.
Whoa. Let's move over.
Oh, you're a tough guy behind that mask, aren't you?
Get out.
Oh, and you too.
Get out.
Huh? This is your idea?
Let's go.
Get
Let's
your
go.
boy. You're gonna lose that camera, kid. You're gonna lose it. Go. Go.
This is. Hey,
Touch me. Get the
don't
fuck
touch
out.
him. Okay, so as you saw, we had Gatorade splashed on our bodies and our equipment. We were pushed, we were shoved. I took a bottle off my forehead, and you might be wondering in the aftermath, just who was that masked man? Well, you know what, folks? I've got some good news. We know his name now. The alleged assailant is 30-year-old Robert Warner. Just a few days ago, police charged Mr. Warner, and the charges are assault with a weapon and mischief/obstruct property under $5,000. He was later released on conditions, and he is scheduled to appear in court at a later date. I somehow think Mr. Warner, without his mask on and without 200 Antifa types surrounding him, isn't going to demonstrate the kind of bravado he demonstrated in the park that day. Well, it's not bravado, it was outright bullying. It was a mob reacting to a couple of individuals practicing journalism. But what I want to point out about this nice piece of news that we received from the Kingston Police Service is the fact that none of this could have been accomplished without a considerable financial investment. Take, for example, the bodyguard that we had on site that day. That was $600. After that, our lawyers charged several $100s to basically write letters to the Kingston Police Service pressing them to follow up with an arrest, which thankfully they did. No other media outlet, I would suggest, folks, has to make these kind of expenditures. I mean, for goodness sakes, if you're to say something vulgar to a CBC reporter, it almost brings about a royal commission. But we have to do this in order to bring you the other side of the story. Simply put, there are forces afoot, and you saw more than 200 of them that day in Kingston, Ontario, that don't want you to hear the other side of the story. That's why I am obligated once again to ask, if you can, please go to journalistdefensefund.com. That's journalistdefensefund.com. If you can make a donation, we actually very much need these funds in order to hire security, pay our lawyers, and ensure that our reporters and our cameramen are not actually physically assaulted. Now, in the weeks ahead, when we find out what the court date is for Mr. Warner, oh, you can bet we're going to cover that. Let's see what this 30-year-old Kingston individual has to say for himself. Let's see how he justifies a completely unprovoked attack on a couple members of the media who were just covering an event that they boasted about on social media, in which they were going to break the law, like I said, vandalize or even tear down the statue of our first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald. And I should also point out, we did do a follow-up story. We were tipped off by a local law enforcement source in Kingston that the police that day were asked by the ringleaders of the mob not to have any presence. And certainly we witnessed that was the truth of the matter. There was not a single police officer or police cruiser at City Park. There were no police at City Hall, where the mob marched to without a permit to burn an effigy of Sir John A. Macdonald. I've reached out to the police chief. I've reached out to Kingston Police Media Relations. I've had absolutely no success in getting an answer why it is that they allegedly stood down and did not make a presence regarding this particular mob scene. But thankfully, the Kingston police rank and file are doing the right thing by charging someone. This is unacceptable, and we cannot let the bullies dictate the narrative in this day and age. So please, folks, if you can, go to journalistdefensefund.com, make a donation, and I promise you, we'll continue to bring you the other side of the story. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, bringing you the other side of the story does not come cheap. Sometimes we need security in order to bring you the other side of the story, because there are forces afoot that don't want us to bring you the other side of the story. If you can, please go to journalistdefensefund.com. That's journalistdefensefund.com, and make a donation.